Welcome to Upvoted TIFU, where an anonymous OP writes, for some backstory, this was actually a couple of years ago, sometime in October of 2021. I just finished my high school diploma and was going back for a fifth year to improve some marks. Now, a year prior, I had a teacher who I will call Mr. Lazy. Mr. Lazy was known for being a really crappy teacher. Whenever people had Mr. Lazy, they would immediately try to switch classes or just drop it completely. In my case, I didn't. I wish I did. I had him for grade 12 university level physics. I don't think Mr. Lazy talked about physics once. Mr. Lazy had no syllabus, a schedule, or a Google Classroom, which is fairly standard in Ontario, Canada. Instead, Mr. Lazy had all of his files on an unorganized Google Drive. This was just one of his many examples of how lazy he actually was. Mr. Lazy never liked marking, so all of our tests were online multiple choice. In the grand scheme of things, the test never actually mattered, and he just gave you a grade he thought you deserved. Before my final lab, I had an 86 in the class. When I got my final mark, it said I had gotten a 72%. This devastated me, because this meant he screwed me over in my university applications. I couldn't get into the programs I wanted to, all because he refused to do a job that he was paid to do. After this, I sent him an email asking him how my final mark was so low, especially since I had an 86 in the class and the lab was only worth 5% of my mark. He never responded. I then got my mom to send an email with the principal attached. Only then did he lambaste my lab. He returned it with a 0 and nothing really stating what was wrong with it. In Ontario, it's almost impossible to mark a 7-page, 12-font size lab a 0, no matter how bad he thought it was. Keep in mind, he had no outline for this lab or how he wanted it. When I finished writing my lab, I got my mom, who is a high school science teacher and past engineer, to check it over. Even one of her colleagues, a high school physics teacher, said that they would have marked it somewhere around an 80. I took my issue to the principal, and he told me to basically go fuck myself. And here is when I started planning my revenge. My idea was to print a bunch of stickers that said I would rather watch TV than mark a lab, from Mr. Lazy. A family friend who's a graphic designer made a quick design for me to use, and all I did was pay a website to make the sticker for me. By the time the stickers came in, the COVID lockdown started again, and school wasn't open. So I'd planned to do it the following year. At first, putting up the stickers was great. I put them everywhere, especially making a point to put them on his door and everywhere he would walk through. I started leaving piles of stickers around the school in hopes of other students putting them up, which they did. Mr. Lazy was short, so I also made sure to put them in hard-to-reach places, like on fire exit signs and on the ceiling. All said and done, I had stuck 200 of them around the school. On multiple occasions, I saw him scraping off the stickers. The ironic part is that he would have done less work if he had marked my lab. Eventually, a teacher saw me putting up one of these stickers, and that's when I got caught. My vice principals all asked me why I did it, and when I asked why they never raised my mark, they went silent. I voiced that the people who are supposed to look over student well-being are the ones ignoring it. It probably didn't help my situation that I called them lazy and incompetent. Yeah. By the end of it, they told me what I had done was premeditated, targeted, and harassment. My punishment was an involuntary unenrollment, and told me I was no longer welcome on school grounds, aka expulsion. From what I'd heard, Mr. Lazy took some time off, and he's still not teaching at the same school. I regret nothing, and I would do it again, only this time, I would have bought more. And that was an upvoted TIFU story by an anonymous OP. Now, go out there, have a great day, and don't fuck it up.